I had always thought ghost stories were just that, stories. Tales you pass around a campfire, or rumors meant to scare kids away from abandoned houses. But then I spent one night inside Hinsdale House, and I know now that some stories are warnings. It was a gray afternoon when I pulled up to the sagging white farmhouse. Hinsdale House sits tucked away in the hills of Cattaraugus County, New York. The road that leads to it feels almost wrong, as if the closer you get, the more the trees lean in, blotting out the sky. The house looked smaller than I expected. Just a two-story farmhouse, chipped paint, shutters hanging crooked. But there was a heaviness in the air, like walking into a room right after an argument, except this argument never ended. I cut the engine, sat in my car, and stared at the front door. Even from outside, I swore I could hear something. Not voices, not exactly, more like humming wires, faint and steady. I told myself it was nerves. I grabbed my flashlight and recorder and headed inside. The door creaked open, and the air hit me immediately. Thick, stale, like dust mixed with rot. The smell of a place that hadn't been alive for years. My flashlight cut through the gloom. The living room sagged with old furniture covered in sheets. Peeling wallpaper hung like skin. And on a table in the corner sat an old rotary phone. Its cord dangled uselessly, severed. I laughed under my breath. They say this place is famous for phone calls from nowhere, I whispered into my recorder. But seeing that dead, dusty phone, I figured the stories had to be exaggerations. The boards moaned beneath my steps as I moved deeper in. The kitchen smelled worse, like wet wood and something metallic. And upstairs, I thought I heard a door shut softly. I told myself it was the wind. It happened when I circled back into the living room. The rotary phone rang. Not once, not twice. It rang a full 3 times before I even moved. The sound was sharp, piercing, far too loud for the size of the room. I froze, staring at it. It shouldn't have been possible. No cord, no connection, nothing. I finally forced myself forward and picked up the receiver. Hello? Silence. And then a hiss of static. Faint, like the crackle of an old radio. Then came whispers. Not one, but dozens, layered over each other, frantic, as if arguing or warning me. I couldn't make out a single word. My hand trembled. I slammed the receiver back down. The silence that followed felt worse than the ringing, like the house was holding its breath, waiting. I tried to distract myself by exploring. The hallway was narrow, closing in on both sides. Upstairs, the wallpaper was torn in long, jagged scratches. I shined my light across each room, empty, but heavy, like someone had just stepped out. In one bedroom, the air was freezing. My breath fogged in the beam of my light. And on the wall, faint but there, handprints, small ones, pressed into the plaster, children's hands. I backed out, heart racing. From below, the phone rang again. This time I didn't go near it. I tried to focus on recording evidence, but my own phone buzzed in my pocket. Relief rushed through me. I thought it was a friend checking in. But when I looked, the screen showed no number. Just the word, inside. The hairs on my neck stood up. Against every instinct, I answered. At first, silence. Then, a woman's voice. Soft, cracked, almost a whisper. They don't want you here. Static swallowed the rest, but I heard something else. A man's voice, low and guttural. Stay. The call ended. I dropped my phone, and it lit up again by itself. The screen flickered, showing a distorted face. Blurry, eyeless, screaming soundlessly. From upstairs, I heard footsteps, heavy, deliberate, coming down, one at a time. Panic clawed at me. I bolted for the front door, locked. The knob refused to turn. The ringing started again, but not from the rotary phone. It echoed from the walls, from the ceiling, from the very air around me. Each shrill note was closer, circling me. I stumbled into the kitchen, trying to find another way out. My flashlight flickered and died. In the darkness, I felt movement. Something brushing against my arm, cold and soft, like wet fabric. And a whisper right against my ear. Answer. The ringing cut off. And in the silence, I heard breathing. Not mine. Shallow. Just behind me. I ran. I didn't care which way, I just ran. The stairs groaned as I barreled up them, hoping to find another exit. But the house twisted. Rooms that should have been bedrooms stretched into endless hallways. Doorways led me back to where I'd started. Every turn carried that sound, ringing, buzzing, whispering. Finally, I crashed through a side door and spilled out into the night. The cool air hit me like water, and I didn't stop running until I was at my car. I slammed the door, jammed the keys into the ignition, and peeled away. In the rearview mirror, the house shrank into the dark trees. But even then, even with miles between me and it, my phone buzzed in the passenger seat. No number, no ID, just one word on the screen. Still here. That was months ago. Since then, the calls haven't stopped. Sometimes in the middle of the night, sometimes in the middle of the day. Always from no number, always whispers on the other end. Sometimes the woman, sometimes the man, and sometimes silence. Just breathing, waiting. I don't know what they want, but I know this. When I finally answer at the wrong time, I won't just hear them. They'll step through, and I'll never hang up again.